Hi friends, I'm back with a new layout today, another bright and colourful one, playing with lots of mixed media. As many of you might know, I recently switched over to scrapbooking in A4 format, and one thing that I've noticed is it's a bit more tricky to do a wreath layout. So I had this idea. I'm going to use a plate as you saw there, and I'm going to draw two kind of partial circles, one in the top left and one in the bottom right. And I want to have a wreath, but it's going to be a bit of a non-conforming wreath because I can't fit a full one nicely onto this size of paper. So I've drawn my pencil markings, and I've used a stamp set that's got 3 florals, the same floral but in 3 different sizes. And I've stamped them on a piece of paper, I've cut them out, and I'm going to be using them as a mask. So you can see here, I'm just going to be placing it over that one that I've stamped so that I can go back in and stamp another impression using the smaller stamp, and it means that I'm not overlapping the stamp. So the impression looks like it's hidden behind other layers of flowers. Now I'm just going to be following that pencil marking all the way around and building my partial wreath with these stamps. And I've just done a large, a medium and a small of the little masks. I don't need any more than that, and I've put a wee blob of my tape runner in the center of each of those just to kind of help them stay in place. And I'm just going to work my way around. And you'll see as I go around, my stamping impressions are not even perfect. So this one, for example, that one petal on the right, you can't even see it's kind of faded off, but it's okay because I'm going to put lots of color on top of it, so you're not going to notice those imperfections. So I'm just going around, fitting them into each other, and just kind of using my eye to gauge where best each floral will fit. So I do tend to kind of go a big one and then a medium one and a small one, or a big one and a small one, then a medium one, rather than lots of the same ones next to each other. And that way it kind of works that the different sizes kind of slot into each other. These florals are from a set of stamps by Vicky Bouton, and I think it was her colour study collection, but I will double check and I will drop a link in the description box for you. Now the products that I'm using mixed media cardstock. It's also by Vicky Bouton. Again, I'll drop you a link. And what I love about this cardstock is I can put lots of wet mixed media on it, and I can work the colour. It doesn't just totally soak it in and absorb it. It kind of sits on top for a bit, and it allows me to kind of blend and move the colours around without it being soaked in. So I highly recommend that if you're going to be following along with the colour that I'm going to be adding in after. The ink pad that I'm using is a Stays On ink pad, and I've specifically chosen that because it is not water soluble. So when I add wet media on top of it, it's not going to blend. So you can see now I'm adding water on top and the colour is not shifting at all. It is locked in tight. So that's what you want. If I'd used an ink pad that's water soluble, I would just have a grey mess here where I'm adding the water. Now I'm adding water because I'm going to be using my Ecoline liquid watercolors, and I'm just dropping them on, and wherever there's water it just kind of pools and spreads, and I just love it. Now I'm using colors from the Ecoline mixing set. I think there's 8 colors in total, so I'm just using 5 from there. But if you've got the Ranger Distress inks, the little ampules of ink, those should work in just the same way, so just use what you've got. Now I'm not going to totally cover up the flowers. I want to see some of those, that plain black and white. I love a bit of black and white detail mixed in with bright colour. So now you would have noticed I'd put water all along that kind of bottom partial wreath, except it dries super quickly. So that made me realize just to add water as I'm going along. So I'm just letting the colors blend and spread with a little help from my paintbrush and the water that I've put down, and then I'm just picking up some of the loose color, and I'm using my paintbrush to make little splatters around the wreath. I'm going to leave you with a little bit of music while I just go through this process. Please feel free to drop me any questions, and I'll be back in a little bit.
I know that I haven't been who I was. I am supposed to be the one you can trust. I feel so useless 'cause I let you down. I hope there's some way I can make it alright, 'cause I know that you deserve much more than this. If you give me one more chance, I swear I'll try my best to always be there. And I want you to know that I'm lost without you. I'm not without you. I hope I can show what you mean to me, 'cause I don't know what to do if you go. Ooh, I just don't know what to do if you go. I've been so selfish and made you believe that you're not good enough, but you're all I need. I take you places that you've never been. I would give you the world if you let me try again. Yeah, just give me one more chance.
I'm just picking up some of the excess wet watercolors, and so it's really now a pretty much dry surface for me to work with. Now, I had this idea that I was going to have these glorious sun rays basking down, but to be totally honest, I think it looked terrible. So I'm showing you this because mistakes happen. I try ideas, they don't always work, and this was one of them. I really didn't love how it looked. So I started with some sun rays and I added more and more, and I just didn't like it. I've cut some of that out. But because I'm using this mixed media cardstock, it's super easy to just go in with a wet paintbrush and practically erase all that ink, the distress ink that I've added in there to make those sun rays. So that's what I've gone with. It does leave like this soft yellow hue around the florals, which I do really like. It was just the sun rays really kind of felt a bit harsh and kind of conflicting with those beautiful colourful florals. So I'm just painting them away. It was quite therapeutic actually to wipe that colour away as I was painting. So yes, you can see a faint hint of yellow, a little yellow glow, and as I'd just done the sun rays at the top, there was that yellow glow around that top wreath, but none around the bottom. So I've just kind of added a little bit of the Squeeze Lemonade Distress ink around the bottom and gone through the same process just so that it could have a matching glow. Now I've got my photos. My family and I went for a meal at Nando's, and I've just got some photos that I wanted to document that night. And I've got more than one photo, but I only want to really have one on display, so I'm going to tuck two behind my main photo. Now the photo that you're going to see, the main photo, is black and white. I love putting black and white photos with bright colourful backgrounds. I love the contrast of the black and white with the colour, similar to how I like incorporating black and white florals when I've got a really colourful layout. So I think it really helps that picture to stand out. They can pop individually, if that makes sense. And then I'm going to tuck the colour photos that were just extra details and things that I wanted to include with this memory. They're going to be tucked behind, which can easily be pulled out. Now you saw I added in that green strip of pattern paper, but I decided I didn't need it, so I took it away. But I am going to back my photo using this lovely black cardstock. It was also from Vicky Bouton's Colour Study collection, and I just love the rainbow of colours that are peeking through that black patterned paper. Now I'm just going to distress all the edges, and they're going to be placed there. I've done some fussy cutting of some florals and butterflies, and I'm just kind of seeing where I'm going to place them. I am going tone on tone, so that butterfly with the orange and pink wings just worked perfectly there with my orange and pink side by side mixed media. And yeah, I'm just finding the right spots for all of them and dotting them about and adding in a few of those black and white florals just to break up all the colour a bit. Now, the next thing I'm going to look at is the title, and I did spend a little bit of time faffing with the title. These are puffy stickers, also from Vicky Bouton's Colour Study collection, and I just love the font, and I think it worked so nicely with all this colour, and I really wanted to use one of these stickers, and I loved that weekend sticker, and I loved weekend vibe. It was the weekend, but it just didn't fit right. I think if I was doing a 12 by 12 page, it would have worked absolutely perfectly. However, it didn't fit properly on this page, so I do change it. Now I've got this lovely stencil. It's from Bramble Fox, and I thought I'm just going to add in a little bit of this cross detail. Do not do what I've done. I've used my StazOn ink pad on my beautiful stencil, and I can't get it off. So wherever you see black on that stencil there, it is now there permanently. So I mentioned earlier that this is a ink pad that is not water soluble, so I could try a few different products, I suppose, to clean my stencil. It doesn't really matter because it's not going to come off on anything. It's really just for aesthetic purposes. But anyway, I'm adding these little crosses, and I think they really add a nice little bit of extra interest. So I'm doing one layer that's quite dark, and then I'm doing an additional layer on top, slightly offset but a little bit lighter, so it gives a little bit of depth to that stenciling. Now I'm going to go back and just play with that title again. So I stopped for a bit, did some stenciling, and I'm going to try desperately to try make this weekend work, but the top of the K keeps not fitting properly. It has to be tucked behind the photos, and I want it to be clearly visible. So I'm leaving it there for now and just stapling my main photo in place. So I don't stick it down with any glue of any kind. I just use 2 gold staples on either side, and that will hold it in place but make it like a pocket as well. And that means those photos can just slot in. I do pick it up just to check that they're not going to just slip out, but it's snug enough that they sit nicely in there. So now I'm just going to have a little play with these florals and butterflies to see where they go, and I'm going to stick that floral on the bottom of that photo that's hidden in the back. So when you pull that photo out, it will have that floral stuck on it, but it will also look like it's peeking out and adding a bit of decoration to the entire layout when it's in place.
To do if you go. I just don't know what to do if you go.
Now I'm also going to add a little flower to the second photo that's tucked behind the back. Also adding a little bit of interest to that photo individually, and I'm back with that weekend title piece, trying to make it work. It doesn't actually look too bad there, but I felt weekend on its own wasn't right, and I just couldn't squeeze the vibe in, so I'm still having a think about that. Now I'm just sticking down all those florals just with a dot of glue in the middle, and then I've got my clear silicone glue for my butterflies. My favorite for butterflies. Just helps prop those wings up so that they can stay flying on my layout and they don't get squished flat by the page protectors.
Yeah, just give me one more chance. I swear I'll try my best to always be there. And I want you to know that I'm lost without you. I'm not without you. I hope I can show what you mean to me, 'cause I don't know what to do if you go. Don't know what to do if you go.
Now I'm back to my title, and I found another sticker. So same collection, same gorgeous scripty font, but it's a bit smaller, so it works better with this page, and it says today. So I suppose similar kind of sentiment to the word weekend, but it was the story of that day, so today works well. And then I can use that lovely chipboard piece that says any day spent with you is my favorite day. Now, when I first started scrapbooking, I would always change the spelling of words that are spelt differently in the collection to how we would spell them here in the UK. So favourite here has a U in it, but as I've gone on, I'm not too hung up about that anymore. I look past it and just ignore it. The sentiment is there. So I'm not going to mess with that beautiful chipboard piece on this occasion. So I've stuck that down. I've just cut it into pieces so that it fits better along the bottom there. It kind of fits around the Y and works better with the smaller size of paper that I'm using. Now I've also just used my date stamp to add a double impression of the date, and I've got these gorgeous little gems. They're black, but they've also got this gorgeous like goldy, greeny, iridescent-y shimmer to them, and I think it works beautifully with all the colours. So the black picks up the black accents that I've got, the black and white photo, the black text, but it's got a mixture of rainbow colours sparkling on them, which ties in with that lovely ink in the background. So I thought that these gems were just the perfect little finishing touch, and I've just kind of added a few to each butterfly just to almost do like a little fluttering trail behind each one. And that is my layout complete. Thank you so much for joining me today. I really hope that something you've seen has inspired you to get creative too. You can find me over on Instagram at Handmade Happy by Monique, and as always I've listed all the products in the description box for you below. Some of them are affiliate links for scrapbook.com. This won't affect the cost to you at all. However, any purchases you make using my link, I will earn a small commission from. So thank you so much in advance if you choose to use my affiliate links. Don't forget to hit the bell if you'd like to be notified when my next video is up. It's a little bit ad hoc at the moment, but I hope there will be another one up soon. And if you've liked what you've seen, I would be so grateful if you like and subscribe to my channel. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye!